Still, in artisan watchmaking, GoS watches stands out. The visionary founder and watchmaker Patrik Sjögren has captivated the watchmaking community with his iconic timepieces. Drawing inspiration from his homeland of Sweden and its ancestral crafts, Patrik, along with his partner, master bladesmith Connie Persson, has successfully integrated the art of ironmaking into the creation of unique dials and metal cases. Contrary to common stereotypes about bladesmithing, their work results in exquisitely refined wristwatches that embody history, craftsmanship and taste of a land not often associated with watchmaking. We are thrilled to have Patrik himself live with us today to share his story and present a special limited edition created for the TLE 10th anniversary. Oh yes, and this is a special day indeed as we celebrate this year our 10th anniversary. I'm Pietro from the limited edition. I'm the co-founder of a business, a retailer that aims at promoting artisan, genuine watchmaking. And in the journey over the last 10 years, we've met some amazing people. And one of them is definitely Patrik Sjögren from GoS, with his attitude and full-on commitment at bringing artisanship and craftsmanship back into watchmaking from his own homeland of Sweden. Patrik has created a product like no other. It was only natural that after 10 years of journey, somehow together, we were going to create something that talks about his journey and our journey. I couldn't do this on my own, of course. I'm going to be accompanied and helped by our editor, Mr. Johnny McElleron from Ireland, also the founder of the Watch Press and the founder of the amazing International Festival of Time of Waterford. Johnny, it's great to have you here. We don't see each other often enough as we used to do, so it's a special pleasure on a special day today to have you on board.
Pietro, thank you very much indeed, my friend. My goodness, you're wheeling out all the old guys today for this one. So yeah, it's a pleasure to be joining you today, and just to celebrate what has been 10 years of achievement and 10 years of promoting a sector that whenever we began this journey, Pietro, really we were on the periphery of the whole watch industry, not just ourselves,
of
not
everything
just limited edition, but independent watchmaking in general. And so it is, yeah, it's been some journey, and yeah, really good to catch up with you again, my man.
And I have a special guest, Johnny, for today, our common friend, Patrik. Again, we met Patrik pretty much 10 years ago when we embarked in our adventure. And Patrik had already embarked in a probably even braver adventure of bringing back Swedish or watchmaking in Sweden. So Patrik will explain us all about it. Hi, Patrik. How are you today?
Hi, I'm all well. And thanks for the very nice introduction. Good to see you both.
Oh, those are just facts that we are very proud to be associated with from the periphery, like Johnny said, to have had the privilege of exploring and explaining your work. And today we are launching a special limited edition together as we do this, which is a little bit a tribute to years of commitments from your side and on the making side, and years of commitments from our side in promoting artisans like yourself. So I think without any further ado, let's show the piece that we are presenting today, which is this piece that is a version of the Sarek, the GoS Sarek, that we have called, quite unsurprisingly, Sky is the Limit. We will explain, I think you can see the sky very clearly there, but we will explain technically how we managed to achieve this metaphorical message, because sky is the limit for us means something special for us, no? Patrik, for yourself and for ourselves. We were told that according to the business books, there was no future perhaps for artisan watchmaking, and there was no future for a retailer only based and focused on artisan watchmaking. And I think that history was on our side, and we've proved quite a few people wrong. But more importantly, we have given collectors much more avenues to explore their passion for watches beyond the normal usual brands that you would have found 10 years ago, 20 years ago on the high streets in the four corners of the world. So Patrik, the first question is, what is what does sky is the limit means to you at this point of your career?
These points. Well, for me, being Swedish, I aim one step at a time, but always aiming for the sky, of course. But I'm more humble in my approach to things. But I always improve, or at least try to improve on them. I think this watch is an example of it's a showpiece that exemplifies uh, that my work now is more elegant and exquisite than when I began. I'm still very proud of what I did 15 years ago, but there's been a steady evolution of my work.
I said in the intro, Johnny, that Damascus steel is normally not associated with fine finishing, in people's minds as a stereotype. But Patrik has changed that perspective since the beginning.
Yeah.
Very true.
My approach was to apply watchmaker finishing to Damascus steel. So by combining the original co-founder of GoS, Johan Gustafsson's steelwork with my idea and goal of finishing, we were able to lift Damascus steel to become a very exquisite material for watches.
It's
I
definitely
think
been
we were the
part of
first.
the GOS DNA
Yeah.
from the very outset. It's what made GOS stand out 15 years ago. Is that here was a creation unlike anything else that was available at that time, and just with this, the raw beauty of the steel, of the metal, being brought to the fore, both in the case and in the dials. And yes, I remember very fondly going back to whenever GOS first arrived, and there was the Nordic collections,
Pieces.
and they were very they stood out, as I said, more than among so many other brands that weren't really doing something different, if you like, and so part of the DNA, and it's fantastic to see that is still very much part of GOS today with Connie.
Yeah, my new bladesmith Connie, he's a true master. He is admired by bladesmith, the community. He exhibited for 8 years. Then he decided to only make pieces on order. But during those 8 years, he received 12 awards. Uh, so he is quite famous, and he has been able to do some of the things we already did and improve on that, but also develop new things like the full resort tiles we revealed earlier this year, which is
have images of them
new
here, indeed.
Yeah, it's a new interpretation of a pattern in a Swedish Viking sword. One of the most well-preserved Viking swords had a similar pattern, and Colin was able to make that into proportions that fit into watch dials.
Stunning, Pietro.
Absolutely. And I think, today I can't help it. I'm thinking broadly over the last 10 years. And, for as difficult as it is to be an artisan watchmaker for a start, but to find something, a spin that is iconic to yourself, to your identity, to your roots, it's an ulterior complication. So, and Patrik, from the beginning, without compromises, has found that recipe of completely tugging into is true to him in both watchmaking and artisan work from his own country. So Damascus steel now in watchmaking, even if I hope you don't mind me saying, Patrik, but of course you are still a gem to be discovered. GOS is still a gem for those that really know about watches. but you have found your personality, your identity, your DNA, and that can be taken from you. And it's something that some other brands I've seen trying for many years and not getting to that point.
Well, there has been quite a few attempts to use Damascus steel after I introduced it. I exhibited for in Basel World for, that was in 2012, and that was the first watch with the Damascus steel case. And then two other brands introduced models with Damascus steel cases 2 years after that. But I think GoS is still the only one to be able to provide the dials with this artistic level.
At this quality,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because we'll see some images now, but the sky's the limit. We have spent a considerable amount of time discussing the ins and the outs of the little tiny details we were going to be excited about. For example, how many watches do we know with a mother of pearl dial, which is a splendid material, but that sometimes I find used slightly randomly. In this case, we really wanted a pattern of mother of pearl that could symbolize our main message for this, which was about reaching the sky, so fighting your own limits. And Patrik, amazingly, as you can see from the different images, you can see this dial comes alive in very different ways depending on the light. So reminiscent of the sky, but we didn't paint a sky on the dial, is the pattern of the mother of pearl that obviously Patrik found. And talk to us about this, Patrik. How was your research? How did you find the right material and the right pieces that you were going to cut?
Well, it all started 2018. Well, maybe I should begin to say that I'm not limited to Damascus steel, but whenever I get an idea or a concept for a design, I try to commit fully to that. And this luminescent mother of pearl is something I developed during 2018. And I wanted to have a very good expression both during daytime, as you say. It looks very much like a sky, clouds on a sky, but also, of course, have the luminescent aspect. And it took me basically a year to develop to get to what I was aiming for. And I introduced a couple of watches with this technique 2019. But
and Patrik,
after that,
Patrik,
I haven't. Yep.
sorry to interrupt you. We have an
Yep.
interesting point from Azad that I thank for putting his comment here, which you all can do if you have a question to ask. It's our pleasure to interact. So Azad is asking, hopefully the same pattern will be achieved on all the dials of the 5 pieces limited edition. So you can also comment on this eventually.
Yeah. The pattern on the bezel will be similar for all watches, but it will not be identical. So I always aim to have the same expression, and that goes for the mother of pearl as well. I was able to find a white mother of pearl that had very good expression. More commonly, people prefer to have mother of pearl without that many organic structures, but that's exactly what I aim for here, because I know how it will react to the application of superluminova to the back, which I do by hand, by the way. So
Absolutely.
the expression will be the same, but the actual mother of pearl pattern will of course be different because it's an organic material.
So we talk about a limited edition of 5 pieces, but actually in reality, every single piece will be unique for both the specific pattern of the Damascus and the pattern of the pattern of the mother of pearl as well on the dial. Johnny, you are familiar with Damascus steel. How relevant is this craftsmanship, and how far in time does this go? To just give a bit of context to whoever is obviously listening here today.
For sure. Well, being Irish, the Irish experience the pointy end of some Damascus steel, some. Don't worry, Patrick.
Same
It's
here,
all right.
same in England.
You can come back, and no, because I joke, but Damascus steel was used by Viking raiders who were went around Northern Europe and further afield, discovering new lands and making their imprint. And their weapons were made from this ultra hard form of steel, which was created by folding layer after layer after layer of steel on top of each other, and to create not only these extraordinary patterns when that's revealed through brushing and cutting back, but it also made the steel remarkably strong. Let's have a look at. So what is that you have there?
That's a demonstration piece that Connie has made for me, because I wanted to illustrate how the pattern is created. So you forge together two different types of steel, and then you fold it to increase the number of layers. But there's still no pattern here. There are many parallel layers, but there's still no pattern. To get something beautiful, you have to deform the steel in one way or another. And one way to do it is to twist the material. And then you create a pattern, let's see, inside of the billet. So you have to remove material to reach the beautiful pattern. And that's something we have to do on each and every dial we make. And like using the most of Connie's experience and skills to find the perfect level in the billet where the pattern is as the most beautiful.
That's a fantastic insight to how these dials, how in fact Damascus steel, how you arrive at that. Instead, it's not just the layering, but you say it's a deforming of that, whether by twisting or turning or manipulating.
You can do
obviously at very high heats.
Yeah. This is done while the steel is glowing hot.
So
you stay out of Connie's way when he's at work then.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, David. Patrick is very welcoming working with clients on bespoke pieces. I speak from personal experience. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yes, nothing but a great guy and very, very skilled. Johnny, if we can go back on our Sky's the Limit piece, I want to point out the parts that actually are in Damascus steel. And Patrick can explain how they have been achieved. So Patrick, can we talk about the case and the bezel in this case?
Yeah, the bezel is made from Swedish stainless Damascus steel, and so is the buckle too, by the way. And it is forged to my specification because I wanted a certain density of layers and an expression that would be possible to make sort of symmetrical when applied to the watch. In this case, you see that the lines are running basically horizontal, and when you see the watch from the front, it looks, to me, it gives balance to the watch, and that's something I always aim for.
And it's very organic it's very organic with the centerpiece, which is the sky in the dial. If you think about it, the waves of the Damascus steel, they really feel, we wanted them to feel like a continuation of the illustration of the sky.
Yeah, you can it's so it can evoke many thoughts or feelings the pattern. So if everyone can see different things in a pattern.
Certainly.
So 41 millimeter scales with 11.4 pretty much thickness, yeah?
Yeah. And for the new Sarek 2 specification, I shortened I basically the whole case is redesigned from the first generation of Sarek. So it's smaller, it's a bit more elegant, but the lugs are more prominent.
This is something I wanted to mention.
Yep.
Patrick, sorry for interrupting, but this was something that I wanted to mention because to me, having known the early editions of the Frost, etc., and the Nordic winter, Nordic nights, etc., going right back, to see where GoS now are now and what you have just said, it seems to be that the brand, the watches are still unmistakably GoS, but a lot more refined, I think, in every detail. And so that obviously has been part of the program as you've been going forward, and it's remarkable. But it's something to me, having been familiar with the brand, going back as long as we do, that to see that these watches are now a lot more refined.
Thank you. Yes, I continue to learn and raise my own expectation of my own work. So I always try to improve.
I love the hidden details as well, because, for instance, one of the real gems in the configuration of the Sarek 2 is what you have done with the periphery of the dial and the arrangement for the indices as well. Do you want to talk to us about Swedish glass blowing technique?
Yeah. Well, it's a long history in Sweden about the glass techniques of creating parts. But I think my partner in Vadstena would like me. I don't think he would have accepted this task if he knew how much work it would be.
I see.
But the changes for this one is the hour indexes. They are machined from the back. But for this one, I fill in all the hour indexes with light blue enamel, and also the perimeter of the glass. So the whole glass ring has a light blue hue that reflects the color of the dial. So they are carefully matched.
Can you explain how the mother of pearl center dial and the peripheral crystal dial interact in terms of the construction, how you have to get to assemble them together and fit together in the case?
They are both, the base dial is made from brass, and it's 0.7 millimeters thick, and that gives room to make recesses. And both of these parts are recessed into the brass dial. And if you look very closely, you can see a tiny wall outside of the mother of pearl sheet, which is where I position the mother of pearl, of course. And it is secured with the polymer that's both the mother of pearl and the glass ring are secured with a polymer that's flexible once dried. So they are both secured by being in a recess in the base dial, but also secured in place with a flexible polymer. And the glass ring has, in fact, 12 fixation points with this polymer I was able to find when I developed the Northern Lights collection.
And this is the result of a very clear time indication at night, no, Johnny?
Absolutely. This is what I was just waiting to come to, because the watch actually, as striking and as beautiful as it is in daylight, it undergoes a complete transformation in low light environments, and thanks to that extraordinary sub dial, if you like, sub mother of pearl application of superluminova. How is that achieved, Patrik? How thin, how slim is that mother of pearl that allows that lume to come through in low light?
It's, I believe it's only 0.2 millimeters thick. And then now we are coming into some secrets. But I apply quite a lot of bespoke superluminova to the back. So the resulting dial with the mother of pearl and the superluminova is almost 0.4 millimeters thick.
Yeah.
It's also an interesting thing is, even though the mother of pearl is very thin, it's of course fragile. And I've broken so many during the work with these and the others. But once you apply the superluminova to the back, it's like an armor.
It strengthens it
to the mother of pearl. Yeah.
And you see the Swedish practicality as well, because sometimes, Patrik, super luminescent dials are made, of course, to shock and to impress, and sometimes they're not really based on time readability, not necessarily. Whereas here you found the perfect way to ensure the readability is also absolutely spot on.
Right. I do both, actually. It's some of my watches. So luminescence is more an ambience than increase readability. But for this, it's definitely readability. But also, I selected I created this bespoke superluminova to also achieve the sky blue color in daytime. So the superluminova has two purposes here.
Fantastic. Another detail, Johnny, when we started the limited edition, we were talking about how we thought it was a bit anecdotal to still use anachronistic, I would say, probably better, still use alligator, as a form of luxury in watchmaking. So we've always been adamant that yes, we kind of respect that material in a way, but we felt that there are so many other avenues that can be explored, perhaps in a more of a sustainable way as well. And here Patrik surprised us with a nice salmon, which is obviously a byproduct of the meat industry, leather. On that's obviously Patrik managed to revive through a strap that feels and looks both luxury and very, very comfortable on the wrist.
I agree, and I'm coming from the same song sheet as you are, because it's great to see more sustainable materials being used to manufacture straps. People are becoming more aware of it. Yes, there is still a demand for the exotic reptile leathers, but it's fantastic to see as you say, like you've used calf skin, moose skin, and now today salmon leather to create these straps, which gives them again a unique personality, and it stands out. Let's see if I've got an image that kind of reflects that. I guess it's probably difficult to see just the grain of it in that image, but it's still, let's see, possibly a little bit more in that, and that it's still a very luxurious and I'm sure very, very comfortable leather to wear.
Yes.
Patrik.
I always aim for straps being comfortable, and so I've always used soft materials one of the first bespoke straps actually had reindeer leather. It was too soft, actually. It was not durable enough. But then I switched to smooth or elk leather,
Yeah,
and that's been on so many GOS watches through the years. And but salmon is also a very interesting material.
absolutely, and it is
Often
plentiful, as we say. I know, Pietro, it's yes, it comes from the meat industry. You're not a major fan of that, but I guess if it, apart from completely vegan options, you're going to have to dive into that part of
No,
the
absolutely. There's a big difference, obviously, of something being a byproduct of something that is already being produced,
correct.
and obviously farming crocodiles for the only scope
Correct. I
of
agree.
creating leather. So, but we could open a massive topic, which we're not going to do today, because we haven't even talked about the horological side. And believe
Correct.
it or not, Patrik is mainly a watchmaker with a keen head and a keen mind for materials and for aesthetics and arts. But Patrik is a watchmaker. So, what horological setup have you chosen for this limited edition? The aim was obviously to give great value to collectors for a piece that encapsulates all what we have discussed up to now in terms of the dial, in terms of the case, in terms of the work on the bezel, the buckle, the strap, and yet has a very interesting movement, keeping this at a very reasonable price point.
Right. This is the new automatic movement by La Chouperet, and it's a bespoke. It's a custom-made version for GOS with anthracite coating, and for this I also developed my own skeletonized rotor, and that is cut from the skeletonization. It is done in tungsten, so I can't use my tooling is limited in my workshop, so I can't work in tungsten. So that is the skeletonization is made by a neighbor to La Chapelle in Switzerland. But
Okay.
then I do further customization for this piece, and that is the blue color you see. And that is something I developed for the Northern Lights collection, where the dials were colored with the ceramic colors. I used a ceramic liquid and applied the color in a similar process as is done with plating. And before it's ready for use, it's also baked in an oven to seal the ceramics onto the pot. And this method keeps the luster of the metal, which you were able to see in these photos.
Yeah.
Furthermore, for this one, I decided to rhodinate the GOS Triskelly symbol, which is also mounted on the rotor. Here you
And the
can also see
Triskelly
the case
is
back.
separate. It's
Yep.
a separate component that's inserted into the rotor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Very nice.
riveted in place.
Yeah. And of course, the
Good
Triskelly
piece.
is part of the GOS. It's a signature of GOS, really, isn't it? Going back.
Yeah, we have the GOS logo, where the G includes a blade and the S includes an hourglass to show the respect, the partnership in GOS.
I
But then we
never
also have
knew that.
the Triskelly here, and it's my version of a symbol that was used to represent the Viking or Norse god Odin. So it's
Yes.
my version of that symbol adapted to be possible to use for second hands and other purposes like these.
Certainly.
It's also engraved in the crown and in the buckle as well.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And of course, we have personalized that further with the name of the collection, which is the Sarek Sky is the Limit, and is limited to 5 pieces only. You can see that as well as an engraving on the back. Gentlemen, thank you so much. This has been one of the most enjoyable half an hours, spent over the last few days of horological entertainment. Johnny, thank you so much for joining me for this special one. It could have not been otherwise with all what we've gone through over the last 10 years together. And a special thank you to Patrik for creating a watch that I love from A to Z.
It's fabulous.
I love what you've done. And
I have a question or two. I have a couple of questions before we go, Pietro, if that's okay.
Go for it.
One is, it's going to be 5 pieces of the sky is the limit. When is that watch going to be available, and how much is it going to cost?
So you're going on the practical questions, which I love very much. So 5 pieces limited edition. We have one ready that is sold. We're looking at getting the next one in the next few weeks. And the 5 pieces will be completed by the summer, pretty much by this summer, with the help of Patrik. And the price is 8,660 pounds without the VAT, so X tax for the UK.
That's amazing value, if I must say so myself. But it really is.
It was a big. The idea behind was always, as we always try, to bring the best possible value at the price point, proportionate to what an artisan watchmaker can possibly offer today. So I think Patrik absolutely nailed it.
Totally. Congratulations to both of you for a fabulous collaboration.
So it's been a team effort, but the pictures you've seen are the pictures of the real piece. So we couldn't be happier. And again, Patrik, congratulations, and I hope I can see you in the metal soon, perhaps in London for an event that is long overdue. I think our London collectors want to see you, to meet you, and to see your creations live.
It's in my schedule, so
thank you very much, gentlemen. All the best to you both.
You too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.